Everything changed the moment the system awakened. Levels, stats, skills, dungeons, power beyond imagination. With the blood of a Saiyan, the mind of a gamer, and a destiny that will shake the entire shinobi world, Naruto is about to become something far greater than Hokage. This is Naruto, the Gamer Experience. Now let's begin today's chapter. Naruto rides next Melty as they were heading for her brother's encampment. "What do you mean, disgraced princess?" he asks. Melty glances his way and looks to the lightly clouded sky. "My mother was King Victorian's second concubine. My brother and I may be royalty, but our mother's murky lineage made us lower than our siblings. The first prince and first princess," she explains. "So, you and your brother decided to form a rebellion?" Naruto asks. "Yes. Brother managed to sway numerous nobles to our side and the common people as well. Even a few stern ritter and powerful mages as well," Melty explains. "Kind like the rebels in Water Country," Musashi says. "Why is your brother looking to assault Kaon?" Naruto says. "Allies that can aid us in defeating the cardinals," Melty says. "Is there no talking to your father? Does he not see that the cardinals are doing such horrible things?" Naruto says, but Melty shakes her head. "Brother believes our father and siblings are under the thrall of them," Melty comments. Naruto sighs as the ride falls into silence, but his thoughts were on Mujina and finding her before Caleb does something or reveals she is a half-elf. Meanwhile, Mujina awakens with a start in the back of a covered wagon with several men and women in armor, but also Caleb. "You've awakened," Caleb says. "Why did you kidnap me?" Mujina says, glaring at him. Caleb glances back to the soldiers but back to her. "I didn't want you to die like Chris," he says. "Yet you serve the man who killed her. Hillig. Bjorn and Eamon," Mujina says, and Caleb gnashes his teeth a little but calms himself down. "I don't need to explain myself to you. Unless you want me to reveal your true nature," Caleb says, and Mujina's breath hitches with her eyes flickering. "What happened to you?" Mujina says, regaining her voice. "I wised up to my place in the world," Caleb says. Back with Naruto and Melty as they ride through the country. "How long would it take to reach Kaon from Lancashire?" he asks. "Several days by carriage or by horse. 10 days on foot. My brother's encampment is not far from here. Near Iacon," Melty replies, and Naruto slowly nods. "You'll find her," Boya Musashi says. A few hours later, Naruto sees the encampment of numerous tents and man-made corrals. "Is Iacon aiding the rebels?" Naruto asks. "Yes. The governor Ser Cullen is a friend of our mother and taught her," Melty explains. Melty and Naruto drop off their horses at the corral before heading to a large tent. "Some are strong but nowhere near your level," Musashi says, but once catches his eye. Bambietta Basterbine. She's a stern ritter, Naruto thought. Bambietta is a slender young girl with long, straight, dark brown hair and brown eyes. Her attire is a white uniform, consisting of a hooded cloak, a thigh-length trench coat, knee-high boots, a miniskirt and black stockings with a red trim on her gloves and boots. She also wears a red heart-shaped belt buckle and a white cap with gold trimmings, which features a black peak. Her little clique is Liltado Lampard, Meninis McAllon and Candace Catnip, but they are not to her level, Musashi says. Naruto follows behind Melty as she enters the tent and he sees a handsome young man in a white military-themed uniform with black trimming, silver greaves, a shoulder guard and black sweater. He has messy dark blue hair and blue eyes with a dark earring in his right ear and the air of a heroic hero. Several others were present but they were no threat, and that included Melty's brother. "Brother. I've returned," Melty says. "Were you able to find Song-do and BG9?" Joshua asks, his eyes falling on Naruto. "I did, and both were killed by this man, Naruto Uzumaki," Melty says. Joshua looks over Naruto for a few moments but his gaze drifts to the wanted poster on his table. "You're the one who killed Jerome Gizbat and freed Vigra from the Rock Eaters," Joshua says. I am, and it put me on the radar of the royal family, Naruto says. Bow to Prince Joshua, one young man says, having dirty blonde hair and greenish eyes, but Joshua raises his hand. It's fine, Kane. He's killed 3 stern ritter. For that he's an honored guest, Joshua says, approaching Naruto and extending his hand. Naruto grasps Joshua's hand and gives him a firm handshake. Why did you follow my sister? Joshua asks. I was attacked in Lancashire and my girlfriend was kidnapped by a former comrade adventurer turned traitor. Melty told me you were heading for Kaon. Where she'll be taken, Naruto says, as Joshua cups his chin in thought. I see. I was preparing to head for Kaon. You can accompany us, Joshua says. Quest received. Aid Joshua Sanders in conquering Kaon, rescue Swordmaster August and Martial Master Yasha. Destroy barrier surrounding Kaon and defeat Stern Ritter the Heat. Reward 1. 1 million EXP. 2. 1000 Rep Joshua Sanders. 3. 1000 Rep Rebels. That would fine. Melty says it would take several days to 10 to arrive at Kaon, Naruto says. We plan to make it to Kaon in half the time, Joshua says, smirking. Naruto heads outside as Joshua speaks to Melty, but his thoughts were on Mujina. When I find you, Caleb. You'll have a lot to answer for, he thought. Perhaps you should invest in a Hiraishin seal on the girls' bodies in case of situations like the current one, Musashi says. I really should. Some would call me dumb for not doing it, Naruto thought. Naruto, Joshua says, and the redhead turns as he is coming out the tent. We're riding for Kaon. Melty will head for Iacon for protection, he adds, and Naruto slowly nods. Mujina tries to free herself, but her restraints are engraved with seals to keep her from even summoning Dryger or the others. It has been 3 days since her capture and she was forced to watch Kalansha soldiers harm their slaves in the name of human superiority or listen to Caleb to try and sway with Kalansha rhetoric, but she remained steadfast in denying him, even in the face of him revealing she is a half-elf. Naruto. Please find me, Mujina thought. You need to eat, Caleb says, coming with a bowl of stew and a piece of bread. I decline, Mujina says, as Caleb kneels in front of her. I'll force it down your throat if I have to, Caleb says, and looks to the other soldiers, unless you wish for them to learn the truth, he adds. I'll bite through my tongue before I let them rape or kill me, and not even in that order, Mujina hisses but gasps as Caleb backhands her across the face, before a line blood run down her face from her busted lip. They will do far worse than that. Once we reach Kaon, they'll learn the truth and act accordingly, Caleb says, dripping a piece of bread in the stew. He holds it to her bleeding mouth and Mujina reluctantly takes it. It would be better you kill me now, she says. I won't let that happen. I'll take you as mine if you submit, Caleb says, and Mujina scoffs. Submit? So you only want my body, Mujina says, and a look of indignation forms on Caleb's face. You let Naruto have your body, Caleb says. Wrong. I'm still pure as the snow, Mujina retorts, and her gaze shifts to the soldiers. Naruto hasn't touched me other than kisses or cuddling. He doesn't concern himself with sexual gratification, she adds. Then he is some beta male, Caleb says. At the same time, Naruto sneezes as he is riding amongst a 50-horse cavalry heading for Kalansha with about 30 carriages following as well. Naruto has learned some more valuable information about Joshua and why he started his rebellion against his family but also the cardinals. It began in his younger days when his teachers Yasha and August, both suggesting he see the real Kalansha outside Isengard. It was like night and day as Joshua saw that anyone not human were treated like second-class people or even like animals. This lit a fire under Joshua to become strong enough to change Kalansha for the better for all its people. Oi Uzumaki, a voice shouts, and Naruto sees Candace riding up next to him. She is a tall and well-endowed young woman with long, light green hair. She has blue eyes, prominent eyelashes, and thin, lightning bolt-shaped eyebrows. Can I help you? Naruto asks. Yeah. I heard you killed 3 stern ritter, Candace says. She wears a bit of a provocative outfit of a double-breasted jacket tied up to reveal her midriff and unbuttoned, as well as removing the fabric on the sides, and a pair of short shorts with a black belt having a green heart-shaped buckle attached to the side. She also wears a white cap on her head with gold trimmings with a black peak and a pair of bulky, shaft-heeled boots. "I did," Naruto says. "But how though? You don't look all that strong," Candace says. "Looks can be deceiving. I'm originally from the elemental nations and I'm adamantite adventurer. I've traveled to many countries and done many things," Naruto says. "Well, we'll just see if you can measure up," Candace says, riding back towards Bambietta. "They will buoy up," Musashi says. A few hours later, Naruto is following Joshua, Kane and Bambietta from their new encampment towards the prison city of Kaon. "Have you attacked Kaon before?" Naruto asks, looking through binoculars. Kaon has a high wall similar to Vol with one main entrance having nothing but open area and one path towards the gate, also what look like moat encircling the city. Kaon is essentially one large prison with a powerful barrier. "It is here my teachers are imprisoned," Joshua explains. "How powerful of a barrier?" Naruto asks. "It can withstand my bombs, but if we had someone who could use the darkness element, we could maybe break it," Bambietta says. I can use the darkness element," Naruto says and raises his gloved left hand. Bambietta's jaw hangs open with wide eyes and Joshua's eyes flicker, but he looks to Kaon. "Then we have a chance," he says. "Of course we do. He brings the barrier down and we gain some powerful allies," Bambietta says. "Yes. Let's head back and strategize," Joshua says, and the four ride off back to camp. Joshua and his captains devise a plan to attack with the revelation of Naruto being able to use the darkness element. Their original plan was more covert and more dangerous, but with Naruto they can be more direct in their endeavor. Their new plan would begin with Naruto bringing down the barrier from above, then Bambietta would begin a bombardment of the prison while the others would charge the main gate. "If I wasn't Kalinch's radar." "That changes tomorrow," Naruto thought, in his tent. "Same for that prince. He'll reveal his ambition to topple the cardinals but also his family," Musashi says. "Gaining his teachers will allow him to do so, and it may sway more to his side," Naruto thought, turning in for the night. The next day Naruto makes a clone for his dailies but also to search for Mujina, before getting dressed in a black, sleeveless collared shirt with white fastenings, baggy black pants, black lace-up boots to his knees, a white sash around his waist and a red scarf around his neck. He makes a second clone to gather natural energy after securing his sword to his back, and he goes to find Joshua for final preparations. Joshua gives a rousing speech to his people and the cavalry takes off with infantry following behind. "I'll go on ahead. A force this size won't go unnoticed. I'll bring down the barrier before you arrive," Naruto says, riding up next to Joshua. "Be careful once you destroy it," Joshua says, and Naruto nods, riding faster but creates a clone to Seafire's reins as he flies skyward. Music, Kayadekasuru Yabo Kohei Tanaka. Naruto erases his presence and flies higher to about half a mile above Koan before forming a ram sign to dispel one of his clone. He feels his sage mode coming forth as the blue lines form from his right eye and down his body. Naruto's focuses and his SSJ aura flares as he transforms. "Now then," he thought, and raises his left arm. "This hand mine is burning red. Its loud roar tells me to grasp victory," he shouts, coating his left arm and chest with martial chi. He flies down like a golden rocket towards Koan, martial chi, fist of heaven. "Sekiya Tenkyouken, lightning breaker," Naruto roars, punching down and a glowing fist of energy erupts. The fist smashes into transparent barrier which illuminates the sky while Naruto pushes forward and cracks slowly begin to spread. "Final shine," Naruto shouts, firing the green energy blast from his right hand. At the same time Joshua and his forces arrive to see the barrier shatter while a green blast explodes into the prison. The barrier is down. "Charge," he shouts. Bambiette begins to fire salvos of bombs with her magic as Naruto lands in the middle of the chaotic prison grounds. Several immediately attack him, but Naruto makes short work of them with punches, kicks, and sword strikes. Boya, a Musashi says, and Naruto turns in time to catch a javelin-like arrow with his left hand but dropping his sword in the process. Naruto's boots dig into the ground as the arrow forces him towards a wall, but he leaps, before spinning in midair, and he sends the arrow back with near equal force. It goes through a prison guard but also cuts the cheek of a very large man. Ha ha ha. That was impressive for a paltry weakling, but Driscoll the overkill Bercy stands before you, the man shouts. Driscoll is a broad and towering individual with black hair which extends downwards to form a chin-strap beard. His attire is a hooded cloak and a thigh-length trench coat tied at the waist by a black belt, having a length of chain on either side attached to a single ring at the back, a white cravat and pants and black shoes. I know who you are, Driscoll Bercy. You killed good friends of mine and turned a fellow adventurer into a traitor, Naruto says, seriously, but Driscoll simply laughs loudly. Too bad. I've killed quite a few people. I'm designated as 04 Overkill. Each person I kill makes me strong. Whether they ally or enemy, Driscoll shouts. Naruto reverse summons his sword to his hand and sheaths it while Driscoll has this smug smile on his face. Driscoll flares his power and Tekka-like bands form on his hands that encircle his knuckles as he rushes forward into a barrage of punches. Naruto bobs and weaves with a blank look on his face while Driscoll has a wild grin on his face. Ha ha ha. Wee-ee-wee-oo. This sucks. It 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 sucks so bad. It sucks so bad to be weak. Ain't that right? Driscoll sneers, slamming a heavy left that Naruto catches but doesn't budge. Driscoll pushes on his punch, but again Naruto doesn't budge. You seem strong, kid, but. Driscoll says, before Naruto has to dodge a bolt of lightning. Nice reflexes, Driscoll sneers, as a series of pillars form and raises his arms apart. Naruto lowers his stance and springs into action to avoid lightning raining down from the pillars, but he's weaving signs to ram, before appearing close to Driscoll with an inhale. Futon, Atsugai, Naruto thought, spewing a high-density and tornado-like blast of wind. Driscoll is tossed through the wall of a building while Naruto stays on guard. You're pretty cocky, kid, Driscoll says, stepping out the building. No. It is you who are cocky, Naruto says and reaches for his sword. I said you killed my comrades. Eamon. Hillig. Bjorn. Chris. You'll pay for each 1 inch, he adds. Driscoll flares his power with a roar, but it too late as Naruto vanishes and strikes first from behind with deep twin slashes on his back, second with slashes to both arms and 2 slashes to his kneecaps. Driscoll drops to his knees with his wounds pouring blood as Naruto looms over him, but a wave of flames forces the redhead to dodge as Driscoll is incinerated. Music change. Time is now damned Atham. Naruto looks down to see someone with a wide grin on his face as the redhead uses observe on him. Basby the Heat, Naruto thought. Basby has green eyes and red hair in a long mohawk with 2 metal nuts pierced into his upper left ear, and a bolt through his lower right ear. He wears a thigh-length trench coat, black gloves, and pants that are cropped just above a pair of black military boots. He wears a thin chain with the Kalansha emblem attached to it around his neck and black armbands around his biceps, with a skull and crossbones design on it. Are you the one who brought down the barrier? Basby shouts, pointing at the redhead. And if I am, Naruto says, sheathing his sword as he lands. Basby raises his boot and slams it down, unleashing a torrent of fire and heat that sweeps over the area. Then I'm going to burn you to ashes, Basby says, smirking and flames coating his right hand. Turnabout is fair play, Naruto says, before dodging a wave of flames and weaves signs to hair. Suetun, Mizurapa, Naruto thought, unleashing a jet of water from his mouth through his cupped hand. Basby doesn't bothering avoiding the jet of water as his flames overpower it to create steam. Burner finger 1, he shouts, firing a narrow beam of fire. Naruto narrowly avoids it as cuts through a wall but closes in on Basby with 6 quick rights and lefts that Basby counters with his own. The punches pick up in speed as knees and shins become involved, with Bazby having a wide grin on his face. Burner Finger 2, Bazby howls and Naruto limbos under his two-finger swing. It creates an explosion of flames as Naruto swings a kick with enough force to send Bazby through two supply buildings. Naruto launches himself towards Bazby, but the heat points three fingers on both hands his way. Dual Burner Finger 3, Bazby shouts. Doton, Dorihiki, Naruto shouts, skidding to a halt and slamming his hands down. Several earth walls rise from the ground, but they are no match as they return to molten lava by Bazby's flames. His flames grow more powerful with each finger he uses, Musashi says. Seems so, Naruto thought, launching himself at Bazby into clash of blows. Bazby catches Naruto's right and the redhead catches Bazby's fist into a test of strength. Both flare their auras as both clash with Golden Flame and Hellish Flame while both push to gain the upper hand. Bazby breaks the clash with a right hook to Naruto's and a stomp to the chest, sending the redhead flying back, but he halts himself and weaving signs to Tiger with a big inhale. Katen, Ryuka no Jutsu, Naruto thought, spewing a dragon head-shaped blue flame. Ha ha ha. Not bad. Burner Finger 4, Bazby shouts, holding his right hand with four fingers. His flames create a large blade with an elongated crossguard around his hand as he slices the blue dragon in half, but a trap lies in what? Bazby breath hitches as a lightning spear is behind him, asshole. Ankai, he roars, as flames erupt around to block the lightning spear, but he sees Naruto coming through the flames with his fist cocked. Hibashira, Bazby shouts, engulfing Naruto in a fiery pillar of flames. Naruto lands with a few stutter steps as burns litter his body, but Musashi is healing him as he tears off his burned top. You're pretty strong to keep up with me this long, Bazby says. I could say the same, Naruto says and brings his arm up. How? He shouts, bringing his arms down as he goes SSJ2. Bazby makes the first moves and shoots with a high leap. Shinka, Shiranui, he shouts, swiping his arms inward and creating several fire lances. Naruto avoids them and leaps to meet Bazby in furious clash as gravity drags them down as they land on a wall. Bazby backflips several times as he avoids Naruto's roundhouse and fires two Burner Finger 1s, but the redhead avoids by running the wall. Shocking first bullet, Naruto says, as Bazby lands on a supply building but quickly avoids the punch. It levels the building as Bazby has all five fingers pointing, dual burning full fingers, he shouts, creating a cone-shaped torrent of flames. Naruto quickly weaves signs to hair and shoots his left hand forward. Meitun, inhaling Ma, he shouts, absorbs the flames. Ha ha ha. Not bad, but try absorbing this. Dainkai, Bazby shouts and fire explodes around him. Nti, he adds, as the flames merges into a gigantic fireball resembling the sun. Naruto raises his arms level with a sly smirk. Not bad, he says, as his Rasen Shuriken and Rasen Nova form. He raises his arms as he merges the enhanced Rasengans into his Prominence Rasengan. Let's do this, Bazby shouts and both rush forward. Prominence Rasengan, Naruto shouts, leaping and tossing his attack. Bazby's mini-sun collides with Naruto's mini-sun that generate tremendous heat, but Naruto wasn't done as he forms a second Rasen Shuriken, sending it into his Prominence Rasengan. Nui, Bazby roars, as the Prominence Rasengan explodes and miniature wind blades tear apart his body. Song ends. Ha 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 ha. Not bad, kid, a voice declares, as Naruto lands and he whips around to a tall man. He has muscular but bulky frame with a man of white hair, intricate red tattoos on his upper body and looses black pants on. Swordmaster August, Naruto questions. You've heard of me? August says, Naruto Uzumaki. Well, Joshua Sander told me you were imprisoned here with marital master Yasha. I am assisting him with assaulting this prison, Naruto says, and August slaps him on the back. Ha ha ha. So that brat decided to change this country, August says. Seems so, Naruto says and sees some Kalansha soldiers coming, which causes August to slap the redhead on the back. Well then, Kozo. Show me some of your skills, August says, and both rush into battle. The day would end with rebels and Joshua declaring his bid to bring down the corrupt cardinals. Quest complete. Reward: 1. 1 million EXP. 2. 1000 Rep Joshua Sanders. 3. 1000 Rep Rebels. Naruto flies to meet up with his clone in Mujina, which is a day's ride away. Will you continue to aid Prince Joshua? Musashi asks. He looks to the night sky and passes through a cloud. News will spread of what I did in K-On! I can't sit in the shadows, Naruto says, deciding to pick up speed as a bluish-purple around surrounds him. Meanwhile, Mujina sits next to a fire with Dryger and Bjorn at her side. Thank the Night Mother, Naruto's clone found us, she thought. The clone found them on their march to Koan and dealt with the soldiers, but Caleb fled after cursing Naruto's name. A wooly echoes and Mujina sees Fan trotting up with Shiro landing on his head. Anything, Mujina says, and the wolf shakes his head as Shiro goes to land on her shoulder. Then no one is around. Naruto's clone dispelled and informed him of our location, Mujina says, poking her fire with a stick. Bjorn moves behind to let her snuggle in his warm fur, and Fan moves to lap as Mujina sighs softly at the warmth. A few hours pass as her fire slowly goes out, but a noise catches the ears of Fan and Dryger, which causes Mujina to awaken as she look up to see something coming in the sky. It looks bluish-purple and coming closer as Bjorn, Fan and Dryger go on guard, but Mujina sees the bluish-purple thing is human-shaped. Is that? Mujina starts before Naruto lands in a crouch. Naruto, she says, running into his arms. Naruto holds her close as several moments pass. I was worried, he says. So was I, but I'm glad you're here, Mujina says, as Naruto kisses her forehead. Dryger and the others come up to greet the redhead. Where did Caleb go? Naruto says. He fled like coward. He tried to convince me to submit to him, Mujina says, and quickly grabs Naruto by the face as his Ki unleashes. Sorry, Naruto says, calming down. Let's head back, Prince Joshua, and see where things go, Mujina says, and Naruto slowly nods. They return to Koan and meet up with Joshua to discuss things going forward as they decide to join forces with him to free Kalin Shah from the grips of the Cardinals. Joshua thanks them and he begins plans to free various cities from Cardinal control as 3 months pass. Cities like Weiss and Vorig fall under rebel control as the combined efforts of Joshua, Naruto, August and Yasha liberate many cities. The Cardinals led by Dominic curse them as race traitors, but one of his fellow Cardinals is not as loyal in the form of Zarg Loranson. He sends information of his fellow Cardinals' crimes in secret, which Joshua reveals through his allies among the nobles. Many nobles question their king about the information revealed, but the king does not deny it, nor does the crown prince, first princess, or queen either. These actions further push the people to back Joshua as the new king, while power of the Victorion family begins to wane. The Cardinals send their mages and strongest knights to face the rebels, but Joshua is gaining steam with victory after victory. It is after the liberation of Orin did rumors spread of Dominic worshipping something or someone called Kaosu. Soon rebels reach Isengard as small riots have already begun, led by Fiori Forvege and her brother Calls. The siblings reveal the Cardinals, king, queen, crown prince and first princess were heading for the Grand Temple in the middle of the Lake Galea. Is it wise to leave the castle to August and Yasha? Naruto says as he is riding with Joshua, Kane, Mujina, and a dozen or so soldiers. I trust Sensei Yasha. We need to stop Dominic, Joshua says. They soon reach Lake Galea and a single bridge leads to the temple in the middle of lake. The temple is round in plan except for a portico with large granite columns, 8 in the first rank and 3 groups of 4 behind under a pediment. A rectangular vestibule links the porch to the rotunda, which is under a coffered concrete dome with a central oculus to the sky. Is this a crutch? Mujina asks, riding Dryger. A temple meant to worship the 6 great gods, or it may actually be for something darker, Joshua says. They reach the temple and are immediately set upon by mages, soldiers, and others akin to brain-dead men or women. Go on ahead, Lord Joshua, Kane shouts, cutting down a soldier. Mujina takes out several with her arrows as Naruto makes some clones and cuts down a few with Jaeger. Naruto. With me, the Joshua shouts, spearing one braindead with his spear. Be careful, Mujina shouts, as Naruto follows Joshua. They rush towards the temple and pass through the columns as they see statues of the 6 great gods but also 2 people waiting for them, one of which Caleb and the other is a knight named Karnak. Stand aside, Karnak, Joshua says, taking a stance with his spear. I cannot. You will not stop his return, Karnak says, pointing his long sword. Naruto ignores Karnak as his eyes are on Caleb, but he notices he has gotten stronger. No words are said as both sides pick their foes and put some distance between each side. Nothing to say, Caleb says, but the redhead doesn't say anything. Caleb shoots forward as Naruto tosses up Jaeger to seal it away while avoid Caleb's thrust, bringing out his violent god slicer on both hands. There's nothing to say that hasn't already been said, Naruto says, dodging Caleb's blows. Caleb drives his spear into the rock and pole vaults for added power, but Naruto blocks with his violent god slicer. Will you blame me for betray the memory of Swords of Light and joining their murderers, Caleb says, landing and sending a spinning roundhouse kick as he moves the length of his spear. It does nothing to Naruto and he forces Caleb back with a swipe. You chose to betray them. You can answer why when see them, Naruto says. You'll see them first, Caleb shouts, as his veins become pronounced and his skin becomes red. Caleb vanishes and Naruto moves his head left to avoid Caleb's strike from behind, shifting to block his follow-up side kick with his forearm. You've gotten stronger, Naruto says, as he sees Caleb's body leaking steam. Kailansha has made me strong, Caleb says, with lightning-fast thrusts. Naruto bobs and weaves out of their path with quick glance to Joshua's spear arts, which were more refined than Caleb's. Don't take your eyes off of me, Caleb says, but Naruto catches his spear. Naruto yanks Caleb into a crushing knee, causing him to drop the spear, but Naruto kicks the spear up into his hands. He tosses it back to Caleb, but the redhead hits him with a brogue kick to his chest, sending him staggering back several steps, but Naruto's eyes narrow as the steam coming from Caleb's body is turning red. Red steam, Naruto thought, and dodges several thrusts. Could his blood be burning? The steam was sweat. Now it's blood, Musashi says. Caleb swings a wide strike, but his left leg gives out and he crashes to one knee with his eyes wide. Wah, he thought. You stupid fool, Naruto says, looking down at him. Caleb gnashes his teeth and struggles to feet with a swing, but his other leg gives out. I, Caleb says, but Naruto snaps his neck with a roundhouse kick and Caleb crumples. A gust of wind erupts with a loud crack and Naruto looks to see Joshua driving Karnak into the floor. Let's go, Naruto, Joshua says, and Naruto gives one last look to Caleb as he follows Joshua. The pair race through the temple until they reach a set of large and ornate doors. They have to been inside, Joshua says, gripping his spear. Then let's do this, Naruto says, placing his hands on the doors. Joshua readies himself with his spear ready as Naruto pushes the doors open with a loud groan. Inside, Dominic has the king, queen, crown prince, princess, his fellow cardinals surrounding a seated figure under the oculus that has a high ceiling. Music, CYB3 Ron G, O.D. Loop. Prince Joshua. Traitor to his kind, and the red-hair demon Dominic declares. Dominic Parto. You will pay for your crimes, Joshua says, as he enters with Naruto, but suddenly the floor glows with large pink array and both are dragged. What? Joshua shouts, as he crashes flat on the ground with the ground cracking from a tremendous weight. He manages to crane his head to see Naruto actually struggles to rise to his feet, and Naruto, Joshua thought. Naruto slowly rises with gritted teeth while Dominic has a look of disbelief. Impossible. How can he be moving? Inhila, Dominic says. I do not know, Inhila says. He is a young man with short white hair and violet eyes. With white and blue priest vestments over black pants. We can't waste time. We must summon Kausu, Dominic says, beginning to chant while Inhila points his hand. Naruto falls back to his knees as the weight increases, but the redhead's eyes turn a pupil-less blue-green and his red hair rises like a flame. How? Naruto roars, going SSJ and raises his arms before bring them down to fracture the ground but also the array. Too late. Come forth my god, Kausu, Dominic shouts, as Joshua staggers to his feet. Dominic Parto, Joshua shouts, as energy explodes outward and another array glows under Anhila. The king, queen, crown prince, princess and cardinals begin screaming in agony as their bodies wither to skeletal husks, while Anhila roars as power courses through his body and Dominic cackles, but his cackles die in his throat. W. What? And no. My master, Dominic cries out, as his body begins to wither into a skeletal husk. What is going, Joshua? Naruto says, sensing some serious power. I do not know, but it feels dangerous, Joshua says, as both shield their eyes from a bright light. It slowly dies down to reveal Anhila on his feet and the husks surrounding him. Ha ha ha. Amazing. Every cell of my body is exploding with power, Anhila shouts, punching forward with his left hand. A corkscrew blow of energy shoots toward Naruto and Joshua as Naruto leaps to avoid it, before it crashes into the wall while Joshua breaks right. Anhila vanishes and appears behind Naruto to bring down a double sledge with enough force to send Naruto crashing to the ground in a crouch. Anhila gahi, Joshua shouts, shooting forward with his spear. Anhila grins and catches Joshua's spear into a crushing knee, causing him to drop his spear, and Anhila spins to toss Joshua into a wall with enough force to kill him. Naruto appears behind him and catches Joshua as they crash into the wall, while the latter coughs up some blood and falls to his knees as Naruto pulls himself free. It's sad, isn't it? Humans have our limitations compared to the other races. We try to build our bodies, but we can only go so far. You must have a personal understanding of this right now, Prince Joshua, Anhila says and raises his arm out. I, however, have transcended humanity. I, Anhila gahi, have become a god, he continues and points his right hand. Now you shall die cursing your own human weak. He adds, but his body seizes. Veins become pronounced on Anhila's body as his skin begins tearing with high-pitched screams coming from his body. Music change, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders OST Omen, Loop. W. What G going on, Anhila says, as his skin begins ripping and tearing to reveal gray skin. His height increases to 6 feet 8 inches and rips apart his boots, pants, and vestments. His white hair becomes long tendrils of red-black and his eyes becoming a glowing silver. A red tattoo snakes from his left eye and down body as Norse-like armor appears on his body. What happened to Anhila gahi, Joshua says, as Naruto helps him to his feet. I do not know. This guy ripped his way out of him, Naruto says. Anhila gahi is no more. Only Kausu remains, Anhila or Kausu says, his voice deeper. The revived entity blinks forward with a right, but Naruto catches it into a right of his own that sends Kausu back. Naruto chains that into Superman punch as Joshua goes for his spear, before Naruto goes for a roundhouse, but Kausu grabs the redhead's foot. He spins and sends Naruto crashing into a far wall with a wide spider web crack before avoiding Joshua's charging thrust. You two only delay the inevitable, Kausu comments. Naruto shakes some cobwebs loose and sees Joshua attempting several strikes. This Kausu is no joke, Naruto thought, but a strange idea pops into his head. Kausu brushes aside Joshua's spear and raises his left arm for a punch, but Naruto grabs the revived entity from behind. I'll take care of this, Naruto says, flaring his aura and flying upward with Kausu through the oculus straight into a dungeon. Welcome to Demonic Dungeon Level 45. Enemies will be 40. System error. System error. System recalculation. Special quest received. Defeat Kausu. Reward. 1. SSJ4 quest unlocked. 2. 1000 stat points to street, STA, SPD, Dex's Vit. 3. Evolution of Raiton. 4. Evolution of Futon. Music change, Music Junkie's Impetus, Loop. Naruto drives Kausu into the frozen tundra, but he kicks the redhead away as Naruto catches himself while Kausu rises. Naruto flares his aura and goes SSJ2 as tension begins to form while both are staring each down. What is this place? Kaosu says, looking around. A place you won't escape from, Naruto says, tossing off his dark tailcoat. The wind begins to pick up around Kaosu as Naruto could feel the power wafting off him. Then I will crush you and learn your secrets, Kaosu says, before rocketing forward. Naruto throws up his arms in cross-arm block as Kaosu connects with a punch that pushes the redhead back. Naruto brushes the punch aside into a clash of rapid fists with Kaosu as they streak around the tundra. He's got some power behind those blows, Musashi says. Naruto avoids a downward punch from Kaosu and it creates a crater in its wake. Kaosu launches after Naruto as their blows begin to create shockwaves from either counters or blocks. He can fly too, Naruto thought. Shockwaves in golden or white streaks fill the sky from punches, knees and kicks as Naruto and Kaosu feel each other out, but the revived Inayati seems to be learning as he goes. Naruto sends Kaosu crashing to the ground from a double sledge, but he is back on the redhead, appearing behind and connecting with a backfist. Naruto streaks across the sky but catches himself to quickly catch Kaosu's fists in a test of strength. Take this, Naruto shouts, connecting with a headbutt into an iron annihilation to Kaosu and sending him through several glacial peaks. Naruto races to catch Kaosu, but the revived entity fire a red beam of energy from his mouth, forcing Naruto to break left, but a fist of energy slams into him and sends him bouncing off the frozen ground. He crashes into Glacier and Kaosu is on him with lightning-fast punches that push them the glacier. Naruto crashes out the other side of the glacier and launches skyward as Kaosu gives chase into another rapid clash of blows. It's like Mayhanaga all over again, Naruto thought, freeing himself from a choke and detonates a few energy blasts into Kaosu. He counters with his own red blasts, but Naruto avoids them into another clash of blows, managing to trap Kaosu's right arm between his left arm and side. Vigorous right fist, Garyu, Naruto shouts, connecting with the concussive right with enough force to send Kaosu flying through a peak. Naruto quickly launches after him and reach him. Final shine, Naruto shouts, firing the green blast and sending Kaosu through the ice into the watery depth. Music change, the vociferous remix GRV music, prelude to calamity, music junkies. The waters begin to churn violently as a large whirlpool begins to come alive while Naruto looks on in anticipation. The water explodes out to reveal Kaosu at the center with his armor broken away and his red tattoo glows. He roars loudly to violently disturb the air as Naruto shields his face. He's gotten stronger, Naruto thought. Kaosu fires another mouth beam, but this one even stronger as Naruto avoids it as it detonates a glacier and detonates in the sky. Naruto launches himself towards with a left aimed for Kaosu's face, but he tanks it with ease. Shit, Naruto thought, before being sent flying like a human missile. Kaosu lands on a small peak after Naruto crashes to halt, but the redhead quickly launches himself. They meet with large shockwave into yet another clash of blows as numerous shockwave tear through the frozen wasteland. It culminates with Naruto dragging his hands to stop himself, but he quickly weaves signs to Tiger, Doton, Yomi Numa, Naruto shouts, as Kaosu is running across the ice. The swamp of the underworld catches Kaosu and traps him to his knees, but Naruto notices he's bigger than before. This will not hold me, Kaosu says, ripping himself free and grabbing Naruto by the face. He leaps and slams Naruto down with loud crack on the frozen land into several heavy stomps that Naruto barely blocks with his arms. Kaosu grabs Naruto by the right ankle and drags him into several heavy slams into the ground with heavy thuds toward a rocky glacier, before dragging his face across it and cracking in the process before tossing him away like a discarded ball. Naruto staggers to his feet with tears in black cargo jeans and a sleeve missing on his long-sleeve shirt. Look like I need to bring out the heavy artillery, Naruto thought, taking a horseback stance. I'll gather natural energy, Musashi says, placing her hands together. Naruto releases a mighty roar as his SSJ aura explodes and cracking the ground around while the wind violently whips around him. His hair slowly lengthens to pass his waist, becoming flowing and smooth into darker yellow shade of gold, his eyebrows vanish to reveal a more prominent brow ridge with his aura buzzing like static. Round 2, Naruto says, his voice deeper. He shoots forward and Kaosu meets him with furious 1-2 from both as their punches speed up, each block or parry creating shockwave after shockwave. Naruto avoids a large energy that crashes through the ice into the magma chamber of dormant volcano. Ice pieces fall into the hole as a geyser of steam erupts while both fighters clash. More ice fractures and falls into the steadily growing hole until an eruption happens as Naruto and Kaosu fight above. Talk about a change of terrain, Naruto thought, slamming a dropkick to Kaosu's face. The once icy terrain is now a volcanic wasteland as Naruto lands on the charred ground while Kaosu does same, but the redhead notices energy wafting off him once again. Kaosu throws his arms out as numerous orbs explode from him, forcing Naruto to bug out as numerous explosions go off and continuing to ignite the volcano. Here you go boy, Musashi says, and Naruto feels a surge of natural energy. Naruto roars to the skies as his sage mode comes forth. Here we go, he shouts, rocketing toward Kaosu as he does the same with both throwing a right. This fiery pit will be your grave, Kaosu says, a grin on his face. We'll see, Naruto says, and unleashes a Hyakuretsuken. Kaosu blocks, but a few find their way through and send him flying back through a peak. Bararak Saika, Naruto shouts, firing the wide blue blast. Kaosu narrowly avoids it as it explodes with a half-mile blast radius and turns to an obliterating last bullet to the face, sending him crashing to the ground with half his face caved in. Martial Chi, Fist of Heaven. Sekiha Tenkyouken, Lightning Breaker, Naruto shouts, punching down and the energy fist shoots forth with open hand. Kaosu raises his upper body as the energy hand slams into him, but Naruto charges his next attack in the form in a newly bought upgraded Gallic gun. Super Gallic gun, Naruto roars, shooting his hands forward. The Super Gallic gun is much bigger and much more powerful in bluish hue compared to its normal purple. Kaosu sees the beam coming and tries to, but it is too late as it detonates into him and drives him into the lava with massive explosion, ending his revival and Dominic's plan for human domination. Song ends. Special quest complete. Reward 1. SSJ4 quest unlocked, requirements all party members. 2. 1000, stat points to street, STA, SPD, Dex is Vit. 3. Raiton affinity evolves into Shurden or Purple Lightning. 4. Futon affinity evolves into Typhoon Kekiai Genkai. Naruto awakes with a start to Dryger licking his face inside the temple of the 6 great gods. I'm up, he says, pushing the tiger away. He looks around to see Joshua and Kane looking over the shriveled bodies of the king, queen, crown prince, princess, and cardinals. Naruto Mujina says, as the redhead gets his feet. Yeah, Naruto says and ruffles his hair, it's over. I took care of Kaosu, he adds, making way to Joshua. What happened to Kaosu? Joshua says, I took him far away and managed to burn him out. Seems the life force of them wasn't enough, Naruto says, using his silver tongue skill, and Joshua accepts this. The day is won by the rebels and Joshua reveals Dominic's traitorous actions which lead to the death of the king, queen, crown prince, and princess. Joshua took the throne and mourns his family with a 2-week period of mourning. Naruto and Mujina attend Joshua's coronation, also the funeral, but leave Isengard for Iacon where Melty would honor them for aiding her brother. If you're going to be a hero, be a real hero. Don't be one of those who shout they are a hero. Be strong enough to be gentle, Musashi says, as Naruto looks over the SSJ4 quest. Good words to live by, Naruto thought. He is wearing a white dress uniform jacket with the upper body featuring a hood and a beaked tip, blue lining along the torso with the lower half of the coat forming 2 tails. A pair of black cargo jeans having white from pocket to pocket and high collar vest in black with white trim. Seems I won't be able to attempt the SSJ4 quest until I return to Konohagakure or meet up on the others, Naruto thought. Your level is maxed, but you can still improve your stats, Musashi says. Naruto looks up, sees Mujina coming out of Melty's study with the second princess. Mujina is wearing leather pants with knee-high boots, a white blouse with frilly cuffs and a black corset vest. Are you both leaving? Melty says. Unfortunately, princess. We need to cross the Galian desert to reach Alexia and cross the ocean into tea country, Naruto says. And explore a little to take in the sights, Mujina adds. May I suggest Cairo or Luxon? Melty says. We will see, Naruto says, and Melty gives him a hug. Good luck on reforming the country, he adds. Thank you and good luck on your journey, Melty says, and hugs Mujina as the three say their goodbyes. The pair leave Iacon and head for the border of Kalansha and the Galian desert in search of the hero Percival's tomb. It takes 3 weeks to reach the border, and indeed were met with a wall, passing through, and were told to follow the river as it runs the length of the desert. The further they got away from the wall did the sighting of people or cities decrease. They asked anyone they met about Percival and hear several stories about him. He carried a large sword some called a slab of iron, fighting numerous enemies, and found the kingdom of Galian, but it was soon lost to the sands of times. Everyone they met also gave them a warning to avoid a band of warriors called the Maganat Corp. Looks the stories were true, Naruto says, sword in hand. Mujina has her daggers in her hands as sand is around them for miles around with dunes interspired about, and they were surrounded by warriors. Each were white, tan and brown clothes with turbans but also masks, also carrying various length weapons. Several charge Naruto into a leap, but he meets them with several slashes, cutting them down, and fires a few vacuum spheres into another group. Crimson Cyclone, Naruto shouts, swinging and creating a cyclone of fire. Enough, a voice shouts, and Naruto sees who appears to their leader. He is older man with gray beard and a pair of scimitars in his hands. You are trespassing, he says. How can you trespass in a desert? Naruto says with Mujina at his side, using observe, and his name is Tamon. That does not matter, Tamon says. It does to me because I'm searching for the Dragon Knight, Naruto says, and this freezes Tamon. Why are you searching for the Dragon Knight? Tamon says, suspicion in his tone. Naruto grips his sword tightly with admiration in his eyes, to pay my respect. I've heard stories of the Dragon Knight and I wish to pay my respect to such hero, he says, using his silver tongue skill. Tamon relaxes his stance to Mujina's shock and sheaths his weapons, as do his men, while some check on the fallen. We of the Maganat Corps guard the tomb of the Dragon Knight, Tamon says. Would you be willing to take us to see it? Naruto says. We will. However, if I find out you ill intent, we will kill you, Tamon says, and Naruto slowly nods. Tamon and the Maganat Corps bury their dead before taking the pair to their caravan. From there they escort them through the desert and even offer them a change of clothes. Naruto is given a white long hooded cardigan, ruffle shawl collar with an open front, lightweight draped cape overcoat and some loose white pants with some sandals. Mujina is given a light green bedla top that reveals her midriff and navel with sewn-in off-the-shoulder straps having sheer sleeves. A pair of matching salwar pants having V-shaped waistline and sandals as well with a little sheer veil. Where did you find such a horse? Tamon asks, as their caravan is moving to another oasis. I found Seafire in the dungeon city of Ouroboros, Naruto says, his arms around Mujina and holding the reins. I see. She is fine horse, Tamon says. The caravan soon find the oasis and make camp for the night. Can we trust this Maganat Corp? Musashi says. We will have to for now until we reach Percival's tomb, Naruto thought, setting up his tent. Cooks set up dinner with simple foods served as Naruto and Mujina stay close to one another. Naruto soon sighs as he stares at the fire on his watch with a large blanket around him due to the drop in temperature. Naruto, Mujina says, coming up with shawl around her form. He opens his blanket and she takes a seat in his lap before wrapping it around them. Will we head straight for Alexia or explore? Mujina asks. Luxon is on the way to Alexia and I would to see the lighthouse of Alexia, Naruto says, trying to keep blood from traveling south. A few moments pass as the pair sit in silence with Naruto taking Mujina's scent of lilac and melon. You know. First seeing you in this outfit was something fierce, he says. I could say the same, Mujina says and looks back into his eyes. We could. She adds, moving her eyebrows up in insinuation. Not with all this sand, Naruto says, resting his forehead on her shoulder, and Mujina giggles. I would be inclined to agree. Tell me something though. Would the others be jealous I had you first? Mujina asks. Is death would throw a fit. Same with Tsunade, Naruto says. I guess I'll have to take my chances. Plus I believe they'll want you to have experience, Mujina says, and Naruto makes a non-committal noise. I'll ask in a letter, she adds, and Naruto groans. Several days later the caravan reaches the entrance to the tomb, which resembles the remains of a temple with steps heading underground. Only you and I will go, Tamon says. Naruto glances to Mujina and she slowly nods. Lead the way, he says. The pair head toward entrance and down the steps. Lord Percival was a great man and heroic warrior, Tamon says, as he lights torches with his magic. The path gives way to a high ceiling with rock pillars holding up the above ground. He safeguarded the helpless and defended the weak, Tamon continues, but he halts in his tracks. Something wrong, Naruto says, but sees a hole in the about 20 feet in diameter. Someone has desecrated Lord Percival's grave, Tamon says. How can you tell? Naruto says, but Tamon points to the hole. There were stairs down to the entrance, Tamon says. Naruto looks down the hole and sees a heavy mist about halfway down. I can head down there and check things out, he says. Tamon looks down the hole and clenches his fist. I will trust you, Naruto Uzumaki. Find out who has desecrated Lord Percival's tomb, he says. Quest updated. Explore Percival's tomb, restrictions in place. Ki blasts, locked, Chakra Chain, locked, flight, locked, Kaioken, locked, and SSJ, SSJ2, SSJ3, locked. Reward. 1. Percival's sword technique. 2. 1000 rep Tamon and Maganak Corp. 3. Naruto removes his overcoat and leaps down into the hole as he passes through the mist before landing in a crouch. He sees a pair of iron doors with a bolted pattern, but one of them is open. Has someone been here? Naruto thought, making his way towards the open door. He passes through and sees stone floors with intricately carved walls and arched ceilings, but he could see craters on the walls or ground. A battle has happened, Musashi says, as Naruto kneels to check a crater and sees dried blood. He rises to his full height and continues along the path ahead but begins to see bodies, some being here for a bit or some fresh. Did Tamon know about this? Naruto thought, and comes to a halt as a statue is on a pedestal. He is tall young man with spiky hair and rat tail ponytail in full plate armor having a dragon helmet under his arm. Percival Dinas. Dragon Knight and hero of the Galian Kingdom, Naruto reads. He continues to look around and see the battle was fierce one. Is his coffin here? Could that be the reason for such battle? Naruto thought, a few more bodies. He finds a door, but seated is a figure in full plate armor and dragon helm with a large sword next to the body of what appears to be a mage. The armored figure rises to their feet and this sinister aura wafts off of them. Who are you? Naruto says and uses observe, but his breath hitches. Death Knight Percival, he adds, before the Death Knight snaps forward. Naruto back leaps to the swing of the slab of iron. Percival was brought back as a Death Knight, he says, moving towards the open area having Percival's statue. DP swings and Naruto avoids it as he brings out Jaeger to block his second swing. He can swing that slab of iron as easy as I do, Jiger, Naruto thought. DP swings its sword with loud clangs as Naruto parries or cracks the ground when Naruto Uzumaki Ryukensen, Naruto shouts, appears behind DP and slashing into its armor. DP staggers forward but catches itself and swings back, forcing Naruto to block with his left arm that sends him skidding a bit. I felt that, Naruto thought, shaking his arm. DP rushing in for a leaping and downward swing but Naruto avoids, shooting in to drive Jaeger into the helm of DP. It ignores Jiger through its head and swings its sword but Naruto somersaults away. DP drops its sword with a loud thud and grabs Jaeger from its helm, before cracking the sword in half with its right hand. Several veins bugle on Naruto's face and arms before rocket forward with his katana now in his left hand. Uzumaki Kuzurayasen, he shouts, striking 9 points simultaneously as he passes DP. It staggers as 9 points on its body were hit in one swing of Naruto's sword. It was hit on forehead of its helm, right shoulder diagonally, right arm center, right wrist diagonally, its groin area from below, left wrist diagonally, left arm center, left shoulder diagonally and center of the chest at breastbone. "Let me see Percival's face," Naruto says, turning as loud groans echo from DP's body. The armor begins strain as DP's body balloons and rips before Naruto's eyes while his lower body becomes that of Scorpion, DP or Percival's upper body sitting on top with its left arm being armored carapace with a pincer arm while the right is normal. Tamon and Maganak Corp would be horrified, Musashi says. Naruto rushes DP as a bone sword comes from its right arm into furious clash of swings from swords, claws and tail causing gusts of dust from their clash. The clash ends as Naruto leaps into a skid out of his sandals with DP having a few slashing in the human upper body but Naruto's is paying the price. DP raises its tail and fires a light green liquid but Naruto avoids it. It can shoot acid, Naruto thought, seeing the liquid destroying the ground. He coats his sword in earth and wind sword chi as he rockets forward. "How will you strike?" Naruto thought, as DP swings its claw arm and he avoids it with a leap as its claw is embedded. Tail first, Naruto thought, slicing through the scorpion tail but the acid eats into his sword. DP frees it claw arm and swings it at Naruto but the redhead counters with iron annihilation to fracture the arm, avoiding the bone sword to land near DP's slab of a sword. Naruto drops his sword and quickly grabs DP's sword into a leap before an overhead swing, slicing DP down the middle and cracking the ground upon impact. Quest complete. Reward: 1. Percival's sword technique. 2. 1000 rep Tamon and Maganak Corp. 3. Sword of Swirling Heaven and Jaeger Zweihander merge into Jiger no Tengaku. Naruto lets go of DP's sword as the halves crash to the ground and begin to crumple to dust. "You can rest, Percival Dinas," he says, turning to grab his sword but it begins to glow. The blade becomes solid black like Jaeger and several techniques are melded into his brain. "Jiger no Tengaku," Naruto says, sealing his sword. He grabs the slab of sword and lifts it to bring it towards Percival's statue, driving it into the ground in front of Percival. "You'll need this in the afterlife," Naruto says and bows with a small prayer. He makes his way out the tomb and flies up the hole to find Tamon waiting, before explaining things about the bodies but the Death Knight made of Percival. "How can someone be so evil to do that, Lord Percival?" Tamon says, as Naruto slips his overcoat back on. "They may have paid with their life," Naruto says, explaining about the mage. Tamon leads Naruto back above ground. "We should take those disgusting bodies from Lord Percival's tomb," Tamon says. The pair reach Mujina and Maganak Corp with Tamon explaining things, which incited his men to want revenge but also mourn Percival. The remains of the day and next are spent mourning but also removing the bodies. Naruto uses his Doton to make circle steps down to the tomb as the Maganak Corp take each body to be burned ashes but Naruto notices the mage has the sigil of Kalin Shah. The Maganak Corp would escort Naruto and Mujina to Luxon, bidding their goodbyes to the pair. Luxon is city many call the greatest open-air museum of the world with several ancient temples and opposite the river running through Galion. They got to see monuments, temples, tombs and Valley of Kings and Queen. They stayed 2 weeks in Luxon to take in all the sights and find a caravan heading for Alexia. It takes about a week to reach Alexia and more sights were seen but once they reached Alexia, they were treated to such a beautiful city with the highlight being the lighthouse of Alexia but also the library of Alexia. Naruto took a few underwater tours to see some of the lighthouse remains while Mujina toured the library. They searched for ships heading to the elemental nations but none were heading for Tea Country but a tour cruise was heading for Sea Country. "So we'll need another ship to take us to the mainland," Mujina says, as they were sitting on the balcony of their hotel in Alexia. "Yeah. Sea Country is near tea. From there we'll head for Uzushio," Naruto says, before taking a sip of tea. The remains of the day is booking travel to Sea Country but were informed that the water near the country were a bit of treacherous due to a strange creature. Naruto and Mujina sent letters through his summons about heading for Sea Country but also Uzushio. The ship would be leaving in another week, giving Naruto and Mujina time to go a date to try some cuisine of Alexia. The ship itself is small cruise ship and could house nearly 20,000 people, including with the trip itself passing T and heading back to Alexia. Will they dock and see country? Mujina says, walking with Naruto in a line for the cruise ship. According to the brochure, a ship will drop us off on the main island called Mother Island, encircled by Demon Island, Taro Island and Jiro Island to its north. Naruto explains. It takes about an hour to get on the boat and to their first-class room, before getting some food and doing some exploring of the ship as it disembarks from the coast. Nightfall soon comes and Naruto notices Mujina has been a little weird but soon picks up why. What sort strange creature could be lurking in sea country? Musashi says. Naruto is laying on the bed of their room with Mujina in the shower. Who knows, but we'll find out, he thought. Naruto. Mujina says, catching his attention, and his eyes widen with his breath hitching. She is wearing light purple keyhole teddy with thigh-high black stocking to show off her legs. Why are you wearing that? Naruto says, and Musashi giggles. It's death, and Tsunade said go wild. Mujina says, moving towards him with a seductive smile. Things would fade to black as Naruto leaves the northern continent for familiar waters with dangers lurking under the surface. And 2, I'll end it with some sexy time for Naruto. And that wraps up today's chapter of Naruto, the Gamer Experience. Naruto's journey is only getting crazier. New powers, stronger enemies, bigger mysteries, and legendary battles still await. If you enjoyed this chapter, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next upload. Comment below, what was your favorite moment in this chapter? Until next time. Keep grinding. Keep leveling up. And I'll see you in the next chapter.